Hi, I'm Dara, and this is A Right Way. And I want to do a fun exercise on character descriptions. So typically, when we read scripts, we often see a very simple character description. One of the most common that I've come across is beautiful woman in her 20s, bright eyes, vibrant personality, those kinds of descriptions. And all of that is okay, but sometimes it's important to go deeper and find a way to mine a more precise character description and something that really truly brings the character to life off of the page. So this can be used for screenwriting. It could also be used in other forms of creative writing, like plays or novels or anything of that sort. And let's just dive on in. I want to share my screen with you. And we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm sharing my screen and I have this little Google Doc that I've created titled Character Descriptions. It's pretty simple. And this is just a fun way to brainstorm and just think beyond the basics. So up here, we have a name for a character. For all intents and purposes, I'm just going to call him Charles Henderson. If there is a Charles Henderson watching this, please know that that's just a complete coincidence. So let's keep going. Charles is going to be 32 years old. His ethnicity, Charles is going to be African American. Physical attributes. So this is usually when we get into height or something that makes a character stand out even beyond that, specific eye color or just anything about them, if they have a scar, things of that nature. So I'm just gonna say medium build, hazel eyes, and uh, a tattoo on his left arm of his deceased mother. Okay, I just added some kind of description to Charles, and now if you read, for example, just his name and his ethnicity and his age and all that, I mean, frankly, none of that's too intriguing about him. But probably the most intriguing thing that we've mind about Charles so far is this tattoo on his left arm of his deceased mother. So now we're painting a picture of who this person might be. Occupation, let's say auto assembly worker, marital status. Um, Charles has been through some changes. Let's say he's divorced. Education level, some college. Maybe he graduated from high school, took a few semesters of college and dropped out. So now we're already kind of seeing this character emerge and we're moving beyond just the typical, thing that you see usually on these character descriptions. Let's keep going. Income level. So he's working hard, blue collar guy on the assembly line. He's relatively young though at 32. It's not like he's vested and, on the verge of retirement and have benefited from multiple years of raises. So let's say that his income is 50,000. Location, let's say he's in Toledo, Ohio. Hobbies, fishing, playing pool, bowling, um, watching sports. And let's go beyond like what we would think of as typical hobbies for a character like Charles, because all the things that I named off are kind of synonymous with how characters are usually written from this particular like blue collar assembly line worker background, maybe there's something else about Charles that's a little bit different, maybe a little bit outside the box. What if he's secretly a big fan of poetry? So we can put poetry in there because there's different layers to this character, and we don't want him to become just another cookie cutter stereotype that we see over and over again. Now, if you'll notice, if we scroll down a little more, I have other key things about this particular character that could stand out a bit. So we're moving beyond just his education level and his age and things like that. We're gonna go to the things that truly, all of us underneath the surface, there are things about us that go beyond, things that we fill out on a form. So what could his happiest moment in life have been? So his happiest moment may have been, because remember, we're bringing it back full circle, some connectivity between the character description that we've come up with so far and more about Charles. So what if his happiest moment was when his mother watched him walk across the stage for his high school graduation? Even though for some people, a high school graduation may be typical, mundane even. But what if the people in his family, what if many of them didn't get a chance to finish high school or they dropped out? And this was an extraordinary moment for Charles. And, his mom was cheering him on with the biggest smile. And it brings it back full circle to him having the tattoo of her. And she's deceased now. So there's connectivity there. What is his biggest fear? What keeps him up at night? So when I think about someone like Charles, he may be, someone who can handle himself in tough environments. And he's somebody who has a lot of awareness. He's a self-starter and he kind of knows his way around different areas. But what if his biggest fear is not so much related to, some bad encounter with a sketchy character in the middle of the night? What if his biggest fear is never finding true love? So we're adding more depth to the Charles character. What is his biggest secret? Something that he's not told anyone, or he's only told maybe a handful of people. We can give some thought to what his life might be like day in and day out, and why he may not feel comfortable sharing this secret. So this secret may not be anything dangerous or scary, but it could be something that he's just not comfortable opening up about. So what if his biggest secret, and we're bringing it back full circle to some of the things that we've already started to write about Charles, his biggest secret is that he keeps a personal diary and he's an avid writer and he really doesn't want anybody to know about his secret thoughts. Maybe he even writes poems in there, and this is very personal to him and it's not something he really wants to open up about, but it's very much a part of his essence. So what if his biggest secret is that he keeps a diary and logs at least 3 times a week? I like to see that Charles is an avid writer. He's staying on top of things, he could be an inspiration for us all. What is his biggest regret? Is his biggest regret dropping out of college? That would be kind of typical to say something like that. But what if his biggest regret is not being more present for his mother? So say, for example, his mother passed away from an illness like cancer or some other chronic disease, and he wasn't as present for her as he felt he should have been. He was kind of dismissive at the time, and this is something that a lot of us can speak to for people that we love and have lost, that we surely wish we could have gotten that time back. So what if his biggest regret is that he wishes he would have been more present for his mother when she was alive? Okay. If if Charles hit the lotto tomorrow, okay, what would he do? And, and why? Like, in my mind, someone like Charles, he's from Toledo, Ohio. He works hard every day on the assembly line. And um, at the same time, he has a creative and artistic side. He loves poetry, he loves things of that nature. He also seems like the kind of person that dreams about traveling somewhere. So if he hit the lotto tomorrow, I could see him going to a beautiful, exotic place, and maybe it connects back to one of his key goals. So if he hit the lotto tomorrow, then maybe he's always wanted to go to South Africa. And maybe there he hopes he could find true love. So if he hit the lotto tomorrow, he would want to fly to South Africa for an extended vacation in the hopes of finding the love of his life. All right. And we can even give some more thought to other things about Charles. For example, does he have like any quirks or parts of him that are a little bit off, or, that adds a different kind of layer to him as a character? So even if it's something like he constantly likes to fidget with things, that's something I like to do. So let's say he fidgets when he's nervous. That's kind of a typical quirk. We could go even deeper. Um, let's say it's something else. He likes to chew ice. Some people like to do that. We could keep going with more different things to fill out the layers of this character. So I hope that you find this helpful as you come up with new ideas and brainstorm about characters and all of that good stuff. Thank you for watching.